I don't know if anyone will believe this story. In fact, I don't think it matters either way. I doubt anyone can help me even if they do believe. Just in case this just in case anything happens to me, which seems the likeliest scenario, I'm writing this out and posting it online so that my story can at least be shared. Who knows? Maybe someone else is experiencing something similar and may have some advice for me. Getting down to it, a few weeks ago I played Dark Souls Remastered for the first time. I always loved the Souls series, so I was elated when I finally had time to revisit the first Dark Souls with improved graphics and a rekindled player base. The online PvP and co-op was always my favorite feature. It feels weird to say that now. Only a few days into playing the game, I was invaded by a player whose screen name was a series of numbers that was way too long to be legit. 01100100001100101 and so on. I mean, come on, that's essentially broadcasting that you're hacking or something. That's what I thought at the time, anyway. They invaded me in the lower undead burg, but I reached the boss fog and went through before even fighting them. I know that's kinda cheap, but I was already right there and felt kinda funny. The moment they invade, they get sent home. The weird thing was, they invaded me again when I was about halfway through the sewer area. Same person. 011000100, so on and so forth. I waited out in the open, near where the merchant is and the gateway to Blighttown, figuring I'd engage in quote-unquote honorable combat this time. I waited and waited, but they never showed. Finally, I just decided to summon Solaire and fight the vaginal dragon, so once again, they were sent home. The next time I came across them was in Sen's Fortress. I could see their red phantom following a floor below me as I crossed one of the narrow bridges while avoiding the pendulums. Now things were feeling weird. Why was this person invading me over and over? Well, this time, I wasn't going to take it lying down. I waited around a corner at the other end of the bridge, and as soon as they approached, I stepped out and kicked them right into the swinging pendulum, which sent them falling to their death. I have to admit, I'm not too good at PvP, so that victory felt nice. This was beginning to annoy me, though. I mean, why and how did they keep invading me specifically? I had guessed at the time it had something to do with the new password system used to co-op and fight specific people, but I wasn't using any password. Hackers, man. It really gets under my skin. Looking back, I wish that had been the case. I came across them again at the top of Sen's Fortress. This time, I hadn't been given any invasion warning. They just came out of nowhere. I wasn't going to waste my time on a hacker, so I rushed past and entered the boss fog. After defeating the golem, that's when everything went beyond strange. The red phantom came through the now open doorway. How? When you enter a boss room, invaders are booted from your game. But there they stood, and that's all. They just stood there, staring at me. This was about the time I decided to report them, but in the midst of attempting that, my PC just crashed and I had to reboot. This had me worried that the hacking didn't only pertain to Dark Souls, so I scanned for viruses and malware and the PC came up clean. This put me off though, and I didn't revisit the game for a few days. When I finally did get back into it, I went to Anor Londo, and there they were again. In an area where you can't PvP or co-op, right at the start of Anor Londo in the pavilion with the Mimic, just standing in the doorway. They didn't attack, they didn't make any gestures, they just stood there staring. It sounds kind of dramatic and stupid, sure, but I swear I could feel them staring, watching me. I took off to the elevator, went up the slope to the rafters, and began crossing. Of course, when I reached the other side and lowered the elevator platform, there they were, in the doorway I originally came from, staring. And I know you must be thinking, why not just go offline? Well, this is the part of the story where I lost my shit because I realized I was offline. I tried everything to get rid of this person. I disconnected from the internet, I pulled my Wi-Fi adapter, I even shut off the router directly. Nothing worked. They're still following me. I moved on to the archives, and they're always a step behind, peering out from behind a bookshelf or around a corner. In the crystal caves, they watched me from above. I started to lose sleep over this. How was it even possible? I don't know what's happening, but just yesterday I saw them again while I was out getting groceries. So help me, there that fucker was, red glow and all, but nobody else acknowledged them as they peered around the aisles, following me everywhere I went. Now, though, they're getting closer. It's like every time I lose them, they catch up and are emboldened to get closer to me. So here I sit. I took a trip up to my brother's cabin, hoping I could just get away from this thing, whatever it is. Maybe hole up here for a bit, but no. I can see them in the distance. I can see that red glow through the trees approaching slowly, so slowly. Why does it torment me like this? I'm done running, though. I'm facing this head on. It's the only option I have now. I went out there to try and kill it, shot it right in the heart with the hunting rifle, and it did nothing. The damn thing just drew its sword and then gave me a bow like it's challenging me. So I ran back and barricaded the cabin as best I could. The thing is, I think it's possible to kill it. There's a broadsword hanging on the wall here, one of my brother's from his dorky sword collecting phase. I don't know why, but for some reason, I think the sword can kill it. It's crazy, but I think I have to fight on its level. What an absurd way to go. I loved Dark Souls. I guess it's the old saying, you live by it, you die by it. Never before has the Dark Souls adage felt so relevant. The thing's still deep in the woods, so I have time. Time to get my affairs in order. I just realized I really am preparing to die.